Great pleasure to welcome back a woman who was with us about a year or so ago. She's going to be coming back to town at the Oslo Theater for two shows coming up on January 23rd and 25th. Great to welcome a great Broadway star and singer Liz Callaway with us today. How are you, Liz?
I'm great. I'm looking forward to escaping the cold of New York and coming to Sarasota.
You've had a rough winter up there, I understand, with the snow.
Yes.
Time to come to Florida.
Absolutely. And I love Sarasota. I've never performed at this theater, but they sent me photos, and it looks gorgeous. I'm very excited.
You're going to feel like you're in a Broadway theater, Liz. I know you've done many Broadway shows, but it has that kind of look to it. You'll see it when you get in there. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well,
the only problem is Sunday night, during my 7:30 show, I'm going to have to somehow find a way to check football scores during my show. So that's the only thing I haven't, figured out yet.
You're a Jet fan too, I take it. Good.
I am. Although I'm a Jets fan. Although I'm also, going to have to root for the Bears also. Not
That's
that I
right.
have anything against. I like the other teams too, but I've become a kind of a crazed Jet fan these days.
Yeah, you grew up in Chicago, but have done most of your career in New York, so you can have two allegiances, I guess. That's all right.
Yeah, well, you know what? I moved to New York for 5 years when I was a kid in '69, and that was the year of the Mets and the Jets.
Oh, sure.
And so I actually have sort of always been number one a New York sports fan, and but I also like my Chicago team.
You and I are about the same age group, I think, so I remember it well, '69, yeah. But it was against your hometown Cubs, though, that the Mets beat out that year in the playoffs, or in the division, anyway.
Yeah, I know. It was rough, but in fact, I'm going to Boston. I'm going to Boston tonight, performing tomorrow night, and I have friends who are there who are Patriots fans. And I have to be careful they don't pelt me.
I know.
Anything.
Oh, they got even with us a few years ago when they beat the Yankees, so we have to get even with them once in a while. So that's what
right.
it goes.
That's right.
Well, talk a little bit about what your show is going to be. Obviously, you'll be singing a lot of the Broadway tunes that you've done, right?
Yes. It's going to be very eclectic. It's going to be Broadway songs. I'm going to do a little chunk of Sondheim. I'm doing I think the last time I was in Sarasota, I was with the symphony, and I did some '60s music for that. So I'll do a handful of '60s songs and some songs from my latest CD, Passage of Time. So it's going to be mostly theater music, but any performance of mine tends to be very eclectic. So it'll be that, and I'm also tell some stories and some of my more interesting experiences. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
And just for the few people who may not have been aware or with us before, of course, you won a Tony Award. You played on Broadway and in Cats for several years. Do you miss that show? And that was on for so long, 20+ years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did it on and off for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I can't say I miss it, but it was a great job. I practically raised my son backstage, so it was a wonderful job to have. Really nice cast, and but I'm actually enjoying my crazy freelance life now. Theater is probably my first love, but in the last few years, I've really kind of been focusing on my concert career and traveling a lot. Last year, I figured out I flew 86,000 miles.
Wow.
Last year. So so I've got I've got the flying thing down, but I love that. I really love the travel. I love the I love the variety of what I'm doing now.
Yeah, one thing about being in a Broadway show, you know where you're going to be every night, but there is a repetition to that. But if you're doing what you're doing now, you're traveling around more, right?
Right. So and every so often I go, boy, wouldn't it be great to be one place and doing the same thing over and over again? But I also really like the variety, and I consider myself incredibly fortunate that I have been able to do so many different kinds of performing, and and I love all kinds of performing. So, but right now I am enjoying this kind of crazy nomad life as a singer. It's a lot of fun. And I'm bringing my tennis racket down so it's weather.
Oh, great. Well, it's going to be supposedly to be in the 70s, so you should be in good shape.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
You mentioned Stephen Sondheim before, because you were on Broadway with Merrily We Roll Along, one of his great shows. What is that like for a singer? I know that it can be difficult to sing some of his music, but it's a very special type of music, isn't it?
Oh, it's it's hard to say if you have a favorite composer, but I do love singing Sondheim's music, and I don't find Sondheim music actually to be all that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe difficult to learn.
Well, that's what I mean. All the intricate lyrics and all that kind of thing.
All the words and all the, but he's so brilliant, and it's when I sing Sondheim, I get to sing those lyrics, and I get to be smarter than I am. He just writes so intelligently, and it's just so it feels so wonderful to immerse yourself in his music. I performed a lot of his music this past year because it was his 80th birthday, so there were concerts everywhere, and it's great fun. It's a more cerebral, perhaps, kind of performing. All songs, are very thoughtful, but there's something that's very intellectually stimulating about singing Sondheim.
Yeah, well, one thing about a Sondheim song, the first couple of notes you hear, you know it's Sondheim. Is that kind of signature to it, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's a lot of young writers have tried to duplicate that, but you can tell when someone's trying to sound like Sondheim, but there's only one Stephen Sondheim.
Well, I know you're also going around singing with your sister too, right? You're doing some sister shows together.
Yes, we have a new show called Boom. It's all baby boomer music from the 60s and 70s, music of our childhood, and actually that's what I'm doing Friday night in Boston. We're doing Boom, and then right after Sarasota, I'm flying to San Francisco, and we're going to do Boom in Napa and in Palm Springs.
Oh, great!
I'm getting a lot of frequent flyer miles in the next week, and then a week later, I'm back in LA with Stephen Schwartz doing a concert.
Oh,
so,
great!
Like I said, lots of variety. It'll be fun in Sarasota. I'll be joined by Alex Ryback at the piano, brilliant pianist, and he's we've done all my CDs I've done with Alex doing the musical arrangements, and so in fact I think he performed there also with Jason Gra a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he's been to that theater, but not me.
Well, that's great. January 23rd, which is Sunday, and then on Tuesday the 25th, is it 2 shows each day, Liz, or one?
Actually, I'm doing two shows on Sunday. I'm doing a 2:00 matinee and a 7:30, and then on Tuesday another 7:30 show.
7:30.
So
3 shows, and I just invite you to go to the Oslo Theater website. We'll post that on the printed story as well. You also go to Liz's website. Give out your website, Liz, for people who want to get your CD.
Sure, LizCallaway.com, Callaway.
Great.
No relation to Cab Callaway.
That's right. You and your sister do the same joke.
I know. Actually, one year Anne met Cab Callaway and got a photo with him, and then she did a photo Christmas card.
Right.
Merry Christmas from the Callaways.
He was a character, wasn't he?
I can't tell you how often people are always saying, "Oh, any relation to Cab Callaway?" And usually they're joking, and every so often they're not, and I go, no.
Do you ever put the hidey-hidey-ho into your act? You should, just to throw people off.
That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. That'd be a nice opening.
That would, yeah. And to say we are the sisters or daughters or something of great Cab Callaway.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I know you're on a busy schedule today, but I want to thank you for taking a few minutes. People down here in Sarasota and Bradenton, I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Doug.